So let's start reading. Thought in the mind. Vichar. Who will read? Archana Di, because afterwards you don't. Can't.
Rangada, we have to redo it.
Oh,
We have read it, Rangada.
Okay. Then I'll start reading each sentence.
Yes, Rangada. Yes.
Thought in the mind. Vichar. The philosophic trend by which mental knowledge approaches the divine is apt to lend a greater importance to the abstract over the concrete, to that which is high and remote over that which is intimate and near. Very clear what he's saying. He's saying that if you want to approach the divine, you can't do it with normal thought which is busy with the physical world. You are thinking, okay, what am I going to eat? What am I going to go? Where do I have to go? What class I have? What I have to do this? What I have to do that? With these thoughts, it is not possible to go to the divine. You have to think of the divine qualities, which means something abstract. Okay, you can think of the divine as kind. You can think of him as compassionate. You can think of him as helping you as a friend. All these things don't belong to the physical world. They are in the philosophic trend, as well they say. So you have to, if you are thinking of the divine all the time, your capacity to act effectively in the physical world becomes much less. Okay, that's what he's saying. It's very clear. Thought in the mind, which are the philosophic trend, not practical trend, by which mental knowledge approaches the divine, is apt, is capable of to lend a greater importance to the abstract over the concrete. Okay? To that which is high and remote over that which is intimate and near. Intimate and near, you can say practical. Okay? The physical world practical. It finds a greater truth in the delight of the one in itself, a lesser truth or even a falsehood in the delight of the one in the many, and of the many in the one. Okay? A greater truth of the impersonal and the nirguna, a lesser truth of or a falsehood even in the personal and the saguna. So when you want to approach the divine, it is tending more towards the higher regions and not the practical. That's what Swami is saying. Okay, so that's quite easy to understand, but the language is the language can confuse you a little bit. We are in the field of the many, and that is very real to us. But the field of the one, we can think about it in a very abstract manner. Okay, everything is one, the divine is one, but it's not so easy. And certainly using a relative term, a lesser truth, or sometimes it can even be a falsehood. Okay? The physical world becomes a falsehood if you are in the spiritual planes of consciousness. So, I read the sentence once again. It finds, what is it? The thought, the philosophic trend. It finds a greater truth in the delight of the one in itself. The one in itself. The thought that goes to the divine, there's a greater truth in the delight of the one in itself, not the one in the many. A lesser truth or even a falsehood in the delight of the one in the many. So now see what Swami is saying. Even in the spiritual consciousness, when you are the one in itself is much more attractive to you than the one in the many. The one in the many, even if you see, okay, even if you see the divine in many, its delight will be less, he is saying, than the divine in himself without the world. Okay? That's what he's saying. And it can be a falsehood or it can be a lesser truth or a falsehood. In the delight of the one in the many and of the many in the one. In the cosmic consciousness also, it is less attractive, I am using the word attractive, than experiencing the divine in himself. Because there's only he is there, nobody else. So, but seeing the divine in others, in creatures, in trees, that also is very delightful, but not as delightful as only the divine. Okay. A lesser truth that falls in the person and the saguna. The nirguna is the higher, and the saguna is the Saguna is divine with qualities. It can be either cosmic or it can even be individual. The apprehensive and the comprehensive consciousness. The apprehensive consciousness, you are seeing the divine in everybody. And the Nirguna, the Saguna. Saguna is the one where you see the divine, I'm using the words apprehensive and comprehensive. Apprehensive is seeing the divine in everything. And comprehensive is seeing the many, seeing everything in the divine. That's it. Nirguna, Saguna also are sort of related to that. Nirguna is the absolute featurelessness, the self. And the Saguna is seeing the divine in everything. He has got qualities. But the divine is beyond our oppositions of ideas, beyond the logical contradictions we make between his aspects. He has an aspect of, let us say, he has an aspect of kindness, but he can also be very severe if necessary. Okay? If you are fully surrendered to him and yet you have got defects, he will, with his kindness, he will put pressure on you to get rid of your imperfections. And that can seem to you to be cruelty. Okay? But it is not, it's kindness. As he says in The Mother, he says about Durga, he says, she raises her hand to strike and to succor, to help. So even her striking is a help. Okay? That's why we have to be very careful when you surrender to Ma Durga. If she sees that yes, the sadhak is allowing me to do what I want with him because he is surrendering, she can be apparently very cruel. But that cruelty is for your own good. Okay. So that's why Srimad is saying it is like this. But the divine is beyond our opposition of ideas, beyond the logical contradictions we make between his aspects. These logical contradictions we make between the aspects, that's why I went into kindness and cruelty of the divine, only one aspect. Or there are so many other aspects which are all his aspects. You have to be master, but you have to also be master of your own self, but you have to be a servant, dasa of the divine. So all these are contradictions, but the divine is beyond all these contradictions. There are no dualities in the divine consciousness. He is not, we have seen, bound and restricted by exclusive unity. Okay? He doesn't want only on the one. In the beginning, he is saying that in the physical world we have less. There is a tendency in the human being to have less delight in the seeing the divine in the world. But if you see the divine only in himself, outside the world, then that tends to be a greater delight. But actually, the divine is, that is our interpretation, sir. He is not, we have seen, bound and restricted by exclusive unity. His oneness realizes itself in infinite variation, and to the joy of that love as the completest key, and the joy of that love as the completest key, without therefore missing the joy of the unity. So this is what many others also see with experience. They say that seeing the divine in the world is not as wonderful and as delightful as seeing the divine in himself. But Srinath is saying that is because of your own limitations of mind. Actually, the divine can be experienced with full love and full joy, even in the physical world. The divine is not at all partial, and he distributes himself equally everywhere, his delight. The highest knowledge and highest spiritual experience by knowledge finds his oneness as perfect in his various relations with the many as in his self-absorbed delight. Okay? The self-absorbed delight is the transcendent, and the finding the oneness in the many relations is the cosmic, and even in the physical world, as in self-absorbed delight. Self-absorbed delight is the transcendent. Yeah, tell me.
1 minute. The apprehension and apprehensive and comprehensive consciousness
Yes.
is basically of the cosmic consciousness.
Yes, that's right.
That's all I want.
Naturally, you can't get that here. Okay, you can get that only in the second level, the spiritual planes of consciousness. And that also sometimes in the spiritual planes, you don't have the cosmic consciousness. You have the consciousness of the world as unreal. But if you have the cosmic consciousness, the world cannot be unreal. Because you are seeing the divine everywhere, in all things. And those things cannot be false. Okay. That's it.
What but as opposed to my question is in the transcendent consciousness, we won't have this apprehensive and comprehensive consciousness.
No, there is nothing there.
That is what exactly I was.
Yeah, that's right.
In
Because
this,
only
in
the
this
divine.
life, so we cannot.
Yeah, that's right.
That
That's right. So, if to thought the impersonal seems a wider and higher truth, the personal and narrower experience, the spirit finds both of them to be aspects of a reality which figures itself in both. You can see the divine equally with equal delight in the transcendent as well as the cosmic, and even in the individual within yourself. And if there is a knowledge of that reality to which thought arrives by insistence on the infinite impersonality, there is also a knowledge of it to which love arrives by insistence on the infinite personality. The path of love will give you the personal aspect of the divine. And that also can be infinite. That's what Sri said. And in fact, this what he's saying, seeing the divine in himself and seeing the divine in yourself, okay, there is also a middle path. There is also, that's why you have these three philosophies, depending on how you have experienced the divine. Shankara's philosophy says that the Supreme Soul and the individual soul are all one. There is no difference at all. So union is possible. Okay? But if you have experienced the opposite, that means you can have a relation with the divine. You can have a relation with the divine, but you can't become the divine. Then that is the Madhvacharya path, where you say that you can have a relation with the divine. You can have intimacy of love and devotion. That is possible. But here is Ramanuja who says that both are possible also at the same time. That's what Sri is saying in different words. Ramanuja is saying you can have unity with the divine, but even in that unity, which seems to be very illogical, you can have the delight of love. If you are one with somebody, at our level, how can it be that you can have a delight of love? Love cannot be, it cannot be single, it has to be twofold. If it is single, then in the physical world it becomes narcissus. You are in love with yourself. But in the divine, there is no ego. So there is no question of ego or narcissism. Okay? It is totally, then you can have a delight of union as well as delight of love. That's what Sri pointed out, that the divine is not bound to our logical thought. That's what he said. Okay, so the aspects of a reality. The spiritual experience of each leads, if followed to the end, to the same ultimate truth. So what is ultimate truth? That the divine is not bound by any saguna, nirguna, all your ideas about the divine. He is not bound by them. He can give himself fully to you wherever you want. But you have to become capable of experiencing that which he is willing to give you. That's the whole point. So Sri is very inclusive. He is not exclusive at all. By bhakti, as by knowledge, as the Gita tells us, we arrive at unity with the Purushottama. The differences come when you are in the path of Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. But if you go to the Purushottama, third level, then you have absolutely everything, love as well as knowledge, union as well as relationship. It sounds illogical, but it is possible there. The divine is not bound by our logic. He is far beyond the logic. By bhakti, as by knowledge, as the Gita tells us, we arrive at unity with the Purushottama, the third level. The Supreme, who contains himself, in himself, the impersonal and numberless personalities. You can experience the divine in whichever way you want. You think of him as Ganesh, you will see him as Ganesh. You think of him as Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Krishna, whatever you want. You want to see the divine as Durga, you will see it as Durga. They are numberless personalities. The quality-less and infinite qualities. If you want to see him as the infinite, you will see him as the infinite. If you want to see him in the finite, you will see him in the finite. At the third level only, mind you, not at the second level. Second level normally is exclusive. Pure being, consciousness and delight are the endless play of their relations. So, pure being, sat, substance, consciousness and delight. Consciousness and delight. All these three, Sat Chit Ananda, are the endless play of their relations. The divine plays with these three qualities: the substance, consciousness, and the power and the delight. She is constantly playing with them. Okay, so you can experience the Leela aspect of the divine if you have all the three: Jnana, Bhakti, and Karma. Your karma, all your actions are being guided by the divine. Okay, so we can go to the next 31. We have got 9 minutes, so we can read the next one. This one, Archana, if it's not too late for you, you can read. If it is too late, then
So Rangat, I will not be able to read. Somebody else.
Okay. Then we.
I can read if you want.
Yes, Yasmin, please. I was just thinking of you only. The devotee on the other hand.
The devotee, on the other hand, tends to look down on the sawdust dryness of mere knowledge. And it is true that philosophy by itself, without the rapture of spiritual experience, is something as dry as it is clear and cannot give all the satisfaction we seek. That its spiritual experience, even when it has not left its support of thought and shot up beyond the mind, lives too much in an abstract delight, and that what it reaches is not indeed the void it seeks to the passion of the heart, but still has the limitations of the peaks. On the other hand, love itself is not complete without knowledge. The Gita distinguishes between three initial kinds of bhakti: that which seeks refuge in the divine from the sorrows of the world, artha; that which, desiring, approaches the divine as the giver of its goods, artha arti; and
Artha.
I don't know how to pronounce.
No problem. Artharthi.
Artharthi.
When you see that bar on top, it's long. You have to pronounce it long.
And that which, attracted by which it already loves, but does not yet know, yearns to know the divine unknown. Jignasu. Jignasu.
Jijnasu.
Jignasu. But it gives the palm to the bhakti that knows. Evidently, the intensity of passion which says, I do not understand, I love, and loving cares not to understand, is not love's last self expression, but its first, not in its highest intensity. Rather, as knowledge of the divine grows, delight in the divine and love of it must increase. Nor can mere rapture be secure without the foundation of knowledge. To live in what we love, give that security, and to live in it means to be one with it in consciousness. And oneness of consciousness is the perfect condition of knowledge. Knowledge of the divine gives to love of the divine its firmest security, opens to it its own widest joy of experience, raises it to its highest pinnacle of outlook.
The pinnacle of. So there's one very interesting which I put in double quotes. I do not understand, I love. Okay? Evidently, the intensity of passion which says, I do not understand, I love. This is an echo from the prayers and meditations of the mother. Okay? And there, on August 16th, 1913, mother is writing in her diary, O thou whom I cannot understand, in the silence of the purest devotion, I adore thee. So this is, Srindra is almost saying the same thing in different words. He says the same thing in different words. I do not understand, but I love you. And mother is saying, O thou whom I cannot understand, in the silence of the purest devotion, I adore thee. August 16th, 1930, in the prayers and meditations. So now he is talking about the quarrel between knowledge and love. Okay? Knowledge can be very dry, he is saying. It can be, need not be, but it can be very, very dry. And what does knowledge give you? It gives you clarity. It gives you a clear understanding of principles and things. Okay? But there need not be any emotion in it. It's a very calm, cold look at things as they are. But the love has got the intensity. It is snigdha, as they use the word. Snigdha is, there is a wetness, it's not dry. It is full of the essence and the rasa of love. The sap which gives you delight. Okay? That's why the love is very often compared to a wine, which gives you a thrill. So that's it. The soma. Soma is the nectar of love. So we have got 3 minutes only. So, and this is the essence of what he's saying. And he's also talking about the 4 kinds of approaches to the divine. Artha, the one who is suffering intense pain, he turns to God. The Artharthi, the one who wants to satisfy his desires, he is a giver of his good. I don't have this thing, I would like to have it. Others don't. Okay, I want a house, I don't have a house. So you go about getting a house. Or Artharthi may be even much more subtle. It may be, I don't have, generosity in me. Lord, why don't you give me generosity? So this you are asking for something. That's the Artharthi. And there is somebody else who is a Jijnasu. He is eager for knowledge. He wants to know. Jijnasu. Eagerness for knowledge. Okay? So, and there is the last one, which is not mentioned here, but he is also there. He is the one who combines all these things. I have forgotten, I have not made a note of it. Yeah, the 4th one is a Jnani. Okay? Gita Jnani, the 4th, the one who knows and loves the divine. Okay? So that's the 4 approaches to the divine in the Gita. Artha, the one who is suffering and turns to God, the one who is wanting some things. Okay? Even if you want sometimes, if there are many people who will pray to the divine for winning a lottery game. Okay? It's not at all. Even when you want to win in a competition, you say, oh God, help me. So it's a very shallow thing, but it can be very deep also, as I said. It can be, you want something not physical, you want something psychological, or you want to have something which you don't have, a quality in yourself. So then you ask the divine, you pray to him. The Jijnasu is the one who wants to know the divine food. And the last one is the Jnani, who approaches the divine through bhakti and knowledge. That's what he's saying in the okay. So I've given you the basic, without going line by line, we have given the essence of what he's saying in the Bible. If you want, we can do it again next time. Okay. But basically, this is the idea. The devotee on the other hand. Yeah, we can redo it next time. Sonki has to make a note.
That is what I wanted to say. We'll redo it next time. Because
Okay.
it's language often, and
That's right. Okay. So, we'll do. I'll also give you the reference in the Gita about these four. Okay. I'll do. Okay. Au revoir, everybody.
Rangada.
Thank
Thank
Thank you, Rangada.
May she
Thank you, Rangada.
Thank you.
Nice day,
Thank you,
everyone.
Rangada.
Okay.